Welcome to this seminar presentation. I am Vasmya Venugopala of 2nd DC Economics. Our group is presenting the topic of product exhaustion theorem under microeconomic analysis. Now this seminar will include first of all a brief introduction to the topic, and this will be followed by a set of assumptions or postulates required for this theorem. Then we move on to explain and analyze it. Later, we get to know its importance as well as the criticisms against this theorem, and then we reach the conclusion. We have also mentioned the references that were available to us at the end of the presentation. So now let us move on to the introductory part, through which you will get an idea of the formation of this theorem and what it is about. So the question that has been put here was actually a major debate among a lot of economists, and that led to the formation of the product exhaustion theorem. So the question is, how can we know that the product value paid out to input owners on the basis of marginal contributions exhausts the total value placed by users on final output? This problem arose through the recognition that values are set by the simultaneous working of forces on two sides of potential exchanges. So let us make this a little bit more clear, and for that we can look back at the theory of distribution or the concept of distribution that we have studied in our earlier classes. So we know the theory of distribution very well, and it is basically about the distribution of remuneration to the factors of production, namely land, labor, capital, and organizer or entrepreneur, in the form of rent, wage, interest, and profit. Also, producers produce for those who contribute towards the production process, and the factors that contribute are rewarded based on their marginal product to the formation of the final output. So this means that if each factor is rewarded equal to its marginal product, the total product should be disposed of without any surplus or deficit. The problem of proving that the total production will be just exhausted if all factors are paid rewards equal to their marginal products is called product exhaustion problem or adding up problem. So till now we have seen what product exhaustion problem or adding up problem is, and now we can move on to product exhaustion theorem. The product exhaustion theorem states that since factors of production are rewarded equal to their marginal product, they will exhaust the total product. Now this proposition was solved by way of the adding up problem. So with all the debates among the economists that were sparkling up, two important solutions were formulated in the process, and we are going to look into it. The first important solution was put forward by Philip H. Wicksteed. He was an economist, and in 1894 he published an essay on the coordination of the laws of distribution, and in this he applied a mathematical proposition called Euler's theorem to prove that payment in accordance with marginal productivity to each factor exactly exhausts the total product. And on a side note, since we mentioned Euler's theorem, it was propounded by Leonhard Euler, a Swiss mathematician. Now, so the first important solution was put forth by Philip H. Wicksteed. The second one was put forward or provided by J.R. Hicks and R.A. Samuelson, who used perfect competition model of determination of product and factor prices to prove the product exhaustion problem. So the first important solution was put forward by Philip H. Wicksteed by using Euler's theorem, and the second important solution was provided by J.R. Hicks and R.A. Samuelson using the perfect competition model. So from this we can again come to the conclusion that the adding up problem states that in a competitive market, when every factor employed in the production process is paid a price equal to the value of its marginal product, then payments to the factor exhausts the total value of the product. And its proof is basically what we study through this presentation. So now we are going to provide a more detailed explanation regarding the product exhaustion theorem as put forth by Wicksteed. And for that, first of all, we need to look into a set of postulations or assumptions that come under it. And as per Wicksteed, there are 7 assumptions involved in the product exhaustion theorem. Let's move on to the first one. The adding up problem assumes a linear standardized production of first degree which implies invariable returns to scale. This refers to its homogeneity. Moving on to the second one. The second assumption is that the factors are complementary. In essence, if a variable factor increases, it increases the marginal productivity of the fixed factor. Let us take an example to understand this. If we assume there are two factors, capital as a fixed factor and we take labor as a variable factor. According to this assumption, an increase in labor will result in an increase in the marginal productivity of capital. So that is what is meant here by the assumption that factors are complementary, and that is the second assumption as given by Wicksteed. Now moving on to the third assumption, it is that the factors of production are perfectly divisible. Now factors of production can be divided or distinguished on the basis of its divisibility. There are two divisions here. One is that it is divisible, the other one that it is indivisible. And factors are considered divisible when it can be adjusted in keeping with the output of the firm. That is the third assumption. According to the fourth assumption, the relative shares of the factors are constant and independent of the level of the product. The fifth assumption states a no profit condition that showcases a stationary, reckless economy. Here we can actually say that, as we earlier mentioned in the presentation, there will be no surplus or deficit according to this theorem in an economy, and because of that there is a no profit condition, and that is actually the fifth assumption given by Wicksteed. Now the sixth one will be that the theorem also assumes a situation of perfect competition in the economy. The last and final, the seventh assumption is that this theorem is applicable only in the long run. So with these 7 assumptions or postulates, Wicksteed was able to propound the product exhaustion theorem. Now the theorem will be explained in the next part of the seminar presented by George.
Hello. Today we are going to discuss about product exhaustion theorem. First, let us take a review of what is product exhaustion theorem. The product exhaustion theorem states that since factors of production are rewarded equal to their marginal product, they will exhaust the total product. First, we need to familiarize ourselves with some of the terms so that we can better understand the numerical basis of this theorem. First is VMPL, or value of marginal product of labor. VMPK denotes the value of marginal product of capital. MPL and MPK denote the marginal product of labor and marginal product of capital. Now the formula for VMPL, or value of marginal product of labor, is MPL into P, and the formula for VMPK, or value of marginal product of capital, is MPK into P, where P is denoting the price. Now what is value of marginal product? We have studied earlier that a value of marginal product is arrived at by multiplying the marginal physical product by the average revenue or the price of the product. Now going to our theorem, the product exhaustion theorem states that since factors of production are rewarded equal to their marginal product, they will exhaust the total product. The way this proposition is solved has been called the adding up problem. Wicksteed, in the coordination of the laws of distribution, demonstrated with the help of Euler's theorem that payment in accordance with marginal productivity to each factor exactly exhausts the total product. The adding up problem states that in a competitive factor market, when every factor employed in the production process is paid a price equal to the value of its marginal product, then payments to the factors exhaust the total value of the product. Now, we are going to see how numerically this whole problem has been demonstrated. Now, we are going to numerically demonstrate the product exhaustion theorem. Now, the quantity of output produced can be shown as Q is equal to MPL into L plus MPK into K, where Q is showing the total output MPL is the marginal product of labor and MPK is the marginal product of capital. L and K are the amount of labor and capital used respectively. Now this equation gives us the total output. Now to find out the value of the output, we must multiply this whole equation, this above equation, Q is equal to MPL into L plus MPK into K with price P. So we will get P into Q is equal to MPL into P into L plus MPK into P into K. Now we had learned from before that VMPL or value of marginal product of labor is equal to MPL into P, and similarly VMPK or value of marginal product of capital is equal to MPK into P, where MPK stands for marginal product of capital. So according to Euler's theorem, the above equation P into Q is equal to MPL into P into L plus MPK into P into K changes to P into Q is equal to VMPL into VMPK. Thank you.
I am Firasat from second year economics. Today I am going to do a presentation on the importance of product exhaustion theorem. Now we are going to look into the importance of it in theory of distribution. The total product is produced by the combination of different factors of input. The equation for product distribution theorem, product exhaustion theorem, is marginal product of labor into amount of labor plus marginal product of capital into amount of capital, which gives the output, which is equal to the output. Given that the production should be in constant returns to scale, input should be homogeneous and the function's degree should be 1. By input should be homogeneous, it means that there is no differentiation in between inside labor between labor, and there is no differentiation in capital as well. There is two inputs, that is labor, which is one kind, and capital, which is another kind, and the function's degree 1, which means that the firm should be in constant returns to scale. The amount of the increase in the input should be proportional to the increase in output resulted. The equation means that the output of the firm is equal to the summation of the product of input and their respective marginal product. This equation helps the firm to determine the employment and their employment of input and the proportion in which the input should be employed so that to obtain a certain output. It provides the solution for producers' long-run problem allocation of the total product to each factor and the distribution total outlay among the different inputs. Answer the how on the employment of various input. When we multiply price to product exhaustion theorem, we reach profit maximization equation, which is wage into labor plus interest into capital, which is equal to revenue, which is PQ, price into quantity, output. This equation is nothing but total cost equal to revenue, which is the condition for profit maximization. And W and R are nothing but marginal revenue products of the inputs used. So this equation tells the firm tells that the firm should employ its input to an extent at which its rewards to the factors which are wage is reward to the labor and interest is reward to the capital, and these rewards should be equal to its marginal revenue product. Professor Watson questioned the existence of constant returns to scale in an economy. This professor, he questioned the constant returns to scale, the state in an economy of a firm. According to him, the rejoinder here is the long-run competitive equilibrium price equals to minimum average cost, the firm's cost curve at the point being horizontal. The momentary constancy of the unit cost corresponds to the momentary constancy returns to scale at the point of equilibrium. He says that the constant returns to scale is a momentary constancy which is only possible in the constant returns to scale at the point of equilibrium, where average price long run competitive equilibrium price which will equal to minimum average cost of the firm.
I am Agas from second year economics. Today I am going to do a presentation about product expansion theorem. And now we are discussing about criticism of product expansion theorem. And in the product expansion theorem state that since factor of product are rewarded equally to the marginal product, they will exhaust the total product. It is also called adding up problem. And also in reality, constant return to scale are incompatible with competitive equilibrium. For if long run cost curve of the firm is horizontal and coincident with the price line, the size of the firm is intermediate. If it is below the price line, then the firm will become a monopoly concern, and it is above the price line, the firm will cease to exist. And the next point is, while in the case of increase return to scale more than the total product will be distributed, because doubling the factors will more than double the total product. But increasing returns are incompatible with perfect competition, since the economies of product lead to the lowering of the cost of production, and in the long run there is a tendency towards establishment of monopoly. The whole analysis is based on the assumption that the factors are fully divisible. Since the entrepreneur cannot be vary, we have to take himself as a separate factor. In fact, entrepreneurship disappears in the stationary economy.
With that, we come to the end of the presentation, and we hope that this seminar was able to bring clarity to the subject of product exhaustion theorem. And to finalize all that we studied till now, first of all, we went through product exhaustion problem or adding up problem. Then we moved on to the product exhaustion theorem as propounded by Philip H. Wicksteed, where we analyzed 7 assumptions that he gave regarding the theorem. Then we moved on to its explanation based on Euler's theorem, where the factors of capital and labor were involved. After that, we studied about the importance of the theorem and also went through the criticisms that the theorem faced. Therefore, in conclusion, product exhaustion theorem in simple terms states that the total product is exhausted if each factor input is paid its marginal product. That is what product exhaustion theorem basically is. And even though the theorem faced criticisms, it is still considered an important solution and is a vital development in economics. With that, we conclude. Thank you.